Let me tell you something. Every successful person you look up to, every giant you admire, every champion that walks this earth, they got one thing in common. They mastered their mind. See, your mind is your battlefield. That's the war zone. That's where you win or lose. Not out there, not on the court, not in the gym, not in your bank account. Right here, you want to change your life. Don't chase the money first. Don't chase the fame. Don't chase the likes or the followers. Chase discipline. Chase that mindset that says, I don't feel like it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because listen, your feelings don't care about your goals, and your goals don't care about your feelings. You say you want success, but are you willing to suffer for it? You say you want a better life, but are you willing to sacrifice your comfort for it? You say you want freedom, then stop being a slave to your excuses. Let me break it down for you. You want to sleep, but you also want to be great. You can't have both. You want to binge, watch Netflix, but you also want to build a business. You can't have both. You want to eat junk food every day, but you also want that six-pack. You can't have both. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. When you wake up in the morning and your alarm goes off, that bed feels like heaven. But success don't come from hitting snooze. Success comes when you rise, when you don't feel like rising, when you grind, when nobody's watching, when you say no to weakness and lie yes to greatness. You think I always feel like speaking. You think I always feel like flying around the world, getting on that stage, pouring my heart out. No, but I'm committed. I'm disciplined because I remember where I came from. I remember the pain. I remember being homeless, eating out of trash cans. And I made up my mind, N-E-V-R-A-G-A-I. And that's what discipline gives you: control, power, purpose. When you master your mind, you don't let the outside control the inside. You don't let circumstances break you. You bend them. You don't wait for motivation. You move with intention. You've got a dream. Then discipline is your fuel. You've got a vision. Then discipline is your structure. You want freedom. Then discipline is your path. Listen to me. You don't need more inspiration. You need more execution. You don't need more hype. You need more habits. You don't need permission. You need discipline. You've been praying for a breakthrough, but God's waiting for YOU to move. You've been asking for the next level, but you haven't mastered level 1 yourself. Discipline ain't sexy. It ain't flashy, but it works. And when you master it, you don't just master your goals, you master your life. So I'm challenging you right here, right now. Master your mind, master your habits, master your mornings, master your focus, and I promise you, one day, you'll look up and realize you mastered your life. One, the mind is the battlefield. Success or failure begins in your mind. Before you conquer anything external, wealth, fame, fitness, you must first conquer your internal world, your thoughts, emotions, and habits. 2, discipline over feelings. You won't always feel like grinding, but discipline means doing what needs to be done regardless of emotion. Feelings are temporary. Discipline is consistent. 3, sacrifice comfort for greatness. You can't have comfort and growth at the same time. To become successful, you have to say no to distractions and yes to delayed gratification. 4, discipline leads to freedom. Real freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from having control over your decisions, time, and energy, built through self-discipline. 5, action over inspiration. Stop waiting for motivation. Take action, build habits. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation runs out. 6, master yourself, master your life. When you develop mastery over your mind, your focus, your emotions, and your daily routines, everything else in your life will follow. That's where true power lies. See, I was homeless once, living in abandoned buildings. No food, no money, no plan. And the enemy, he wasn't just the cold, the hunger, the darkness. The enemy was my mind telling me, You ain't worth nothing. You'll never be anything. This is your life now. And I had two choices. Either let that voice win or shut it down and start speaking life over myself. Every time you wake up, there's a voice saying, go back to sleep. When you hit the gym, there's a voice saying, just skip it today. When it's time to grind, there's a voice saying, you can't do this. You're tired. You're broken. You're done. But listen to me. You can't just sit there and listen to that garbage. You got to talk back. You got to fight back. You got to get up and say, no, I'm not giving up today. I'm not giving in. I was built for more than this. You think the champions of the world there because they had perfect situations. No, they got there because they took control of their minds. They didn't let doubt win. They didn't let fear win. They trained their thoughts like a warrior trains for battle. They said, if I control my mind, I control my outcomes. You don't need more money right now. You don't need better friends. You don't even need more opportunities. You need to take control of the space between your ears, because that's where the breakthrough starts. That's where success is born. That's where transformation happens. It starts with a decision. You decide to stop letting your mind bully you. You decide to stop feeding it junk thoughts, junk attitudes, junk excuses. You start feeding it discipline, focus, truth, vision. You tell yourself, I'm not here to survive. I'm here to dominate. I'm not here to crawl. I'm here to fly. I'm not here to follow. I'm here to lead. And don't get it twisted. This ain't a one-time thing. This ain't just on Monday. This is daily, hourly, every moment, because every second your mind is either pulling you forward or pulling you back. You decide which way it goes. So I'm telling you right now, before you go chase the money, the success, the lifestyle, master your mind, because when you win in your head, everything else in your life will bow down. Let's go. See the great ones, the elite, the people you look up to. They didn't make it to the top because they always felt like it. They made it because they moved with discipline, not emotion. Discipline means I show up regardless. Discipline means I grind when I'm tired. Discipline means I do what needs to be done, whether I feel like it or not. You think I always feel like speaking. You think I always feel like getting on a plane, leaving my family, and pouring out energy on a stage for 2 hours straight. Absolutely not. But it's not about feelings. It's about purpose. It's about commitment. It's about waking up and saying, I made a promise to myself, and I'm not breaking it for some temporary emotion. That's the difference between winners and everybody else. Losers move when they're motivated. Winners move because they made a decision. They don't wait for the weather to be perfect. They don't wait for the emotions to line up. They act. Period. Discipline is showing up to the gym when your body hurts. Discipline is working on your business when the sales are down. Discipline is staying faithful when temptation is knocking at your door. And hear me clearly, discipline is hard. It's uncomfortable. It's painful sometimes, but that's the cost of greatness. Your dreams don't care about your feelings. Your goals don't care that you're tired. That vision you got, that future you keep imagining is sitting there like, show me how bad you want it. You say you're built for greatness. Prove it when it's hard. Prove it when you want to quit. Prove it when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, when nobody's around to hold you accountable. That's where real character is born. Let me tell you something. If you keep living by your feelings, you're going to live an average for the rest of your life, because feelings are up and down. Discipline is steady. Feelings are fragile. Discipline is unbreakable. Feelings are temporary. Discipline builds legacy. So today, I dare you, stop chasing comfort. Stop chasing convenience. Chase commitment. Chase discipline. Wake up and tell your emotions, you don't run me anymore. I run you. You keep saying, I want more out of life. But every time it's time to pay the price, you fold. Every time it gets hard, you back down. Every time it gets uncomfortable, you retreat. And I'm telling you right now, that's why you're stuck, because you haven't learned the power of sacrifice. See, success ain't free. You can't just wish for it. You gotta work for it. You gotta bleed for it. You gotta let go of what's easy so you can grab hold of what's worth it. You wanna go to the next level. It's gonna cost you something. It's gonna cost time. It's gonna cost energy. It's gonna cost sleep. It's gonna cost some friendships. It might even cost your old identity. But hear me, you can't soar like an eagle hanging with pigeons. You can't run toward purpose while dragging your past. Sacrifice means you give up something good now for something great later. It means you stop living for the moment and start living for the mission. It means you don't do what feels good. You do what's necessary every single day. When I was homeless, I didn't feel like grinding. I didn't feel like waking up and chasing purpose. But I made a choice. I was willing to suffer temporarily to live permanently in victory. I was willing to hurt a little now, so I could be free forever. Some of y'all ain't getting what you want because you're not willing to go through what it takes to get it. You keep pulling back when the pain shows up. But I'm telling you, pain is part of the process. Growth requires pressure. Diamonds don't form in comfort, they form under heat. You can't be addicted to comfort and expect a breakthrough. Greatness demands sacrifice. You gotta say no to the party. You gotta say no to sleeping in. You gotta say no to wasting time on people who ain't aligned with your destiny. You gotta cut off distractions so you can stay focused on your mission. Don't confuse being busy with being productive. Don't confuse being active with being impactful. Sacrifice is intentional. It's strategic. It says, I'm willing to give up the short-term pleasure for the long-term promise. So if you're serious, if you really want it, prove it. Start sacrificing. Start letting go of what's holding you back. You can't keep everything and still move forward. Either you sacrifice your comfort or you sacrifice your calling. You think you're free because you can eat what you want, sleep when you want, waste time on your phone all day. That's not freedom. That's bondage. You're a slave to your cravings, a slave to your emotions, a slave to distraction. That's not power. That's weakness. See, when I was homeless, I had no freedom, not because I didn't have stuff, but because I didn't have control. My mind wasn't right. My habits were sloppy. My decisions were emotional. But when I got disciplined, when I stopped letting my emotions drive and I started letting my values lead, I got my life back. I got power back. I got my freedom. Discipline is what sets you apart. Discipline is saying, I'm in charge now. I run this. It means you wake up with a purpose, not by accident. You go to bed with a plan, not with regret. You don't spend money just because you feel like it. You don't eat just because it tastes good. You don't scroll for hours just because you're bored. You are in control. That's freedom. People think freedom is no rules. Nah, freedom is having the right rules in place so you can thrive. You want financial freedom, then discipline your spending. You want physical freedom, then discipline your eating and workout habits. You want emotional freedom, then discipline your thoughts and stop reacting to everything. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's discipline. You can't be free if you're out of control. You can't be free if every little distraction takes you off your path. You can't be free if your emotions run your day. That's not freedom. That's chaos. But when you master discipline, you become unshakable. You don't flinch when life hits. You don't panic when things go wrong. Why? Because you've trained for it. You've prepared. You've built yourself. Some of y'all are waiting for life to get easier. Stop waiting. Get stronger. Build discipline, and you won't need easy. You'll be equipped. You'll be sharp. You'll be free. Discipline gives you options. It gives you the ability to say yes to your destiny and no to your distractions. It gives you peace of mind. It gives you confidence. And when you walk in discipline, you don't need to force success. Success starts chasing you. So stop chasing quick pleasure. Stop chasing the easy life. Chase mastery. Chase discipline. Because that's the only path to true power. And that's how you get the one thing everybody wants, but few ever earn: freedom. See, motivation is cute. It feels good for a moment. It gets your heart pumping. But that feeling, it fades. You can't build success on something that fades. You got to build it on discipline, consistency, execution. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going when it gets hard. Discipline keeps you moving when the hype is gone and the spotlight's off. I meet people every day who are addicted to motivation, addicted to watching people live their dreams, but not doing a thing to live their own. You're getting high on inspiration, but you're not grinding. You're not producing. You're consuming, but not creating. You're clapping for other people, but not betting on yourself. Stop chasing that feeling. That feeling ain't coming every day. Some days you're gonna wake up tired. Some days life gonna punch you in the face. Some days you're gonna cry. Some days you're gonna fail. And if all you got is motivation, you done. You finished, because that emotion can't carry you through a storm. But discipline can walk through fire. Discipline shows up when motivation sits down. When I started speaking, I didn't get applause. I didn't have a team. I didn't have a crowd. I had grind. I had discipline. I had a vision and a willingness to execute every single day. And that's what changed my life. You don't rise because you're motivated. You rise because you're intentional. You rise because you make a decision that says, no matter what it feels like, I'm going to keep going. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you go from average to phenomenal. Look, your future doesn't care how you feel today. Your purpose doesn't care if you're tired. Your vision is waiting for you to move, not to feel good. I don't care if you don't feel like working. Work anyway. I don't care if you're not in the mood to read. Read anyway. I don't care if you're scared. Move anyway. You want to change your life. Then change your routine. Build the habit. Get consistent. Wake up with a plan. Execute that plan day after day. No excuses. No breaks. No emotional breakdowns stopping the mission. Because that's what champions do. They move without motivation. They grind without applause. They hustle without hype. You want to be great. Then stop waiting for motivation and start building discipline. Start executing. Start showing up with your head down and your heart on fire. Because when you learn to show up, when you don't feel like it, that's when your life starts to shift. You got to wake up and get real. The problem ain't your boss. The problem ain't your background. The problem ain't your past. The problem is you ain't got control over you. You let your emotions run wild. You let distractions steal your time. You let laziness whisper lies into your ears. And you listen. But listen to me. You weren't built to be ruled by weakness. You were built to lead yourself. And until you do, your life will stay stuck. You want power. Control your attitude. Control your reactions. Control what you feed your mind, your body, your soul. That's real strength, not flexing in the gym, not talking big online, but being able to get up every day, discipline yourself, and move in the direction of your purpose, even when nobody's watching. See, I was broke before. I was broken. I had to learn that the biggest battle wasn't the world. It was me. And when I finally got serious about my mind, about my discipline, about my standards, my life changed. Not because the world got easier, but because I got stronger. I stopped waiting on opportunity and started preparing for it. I stopped waiting for somebody to save me and started saving myself. I mastered my mornings. I mastered my focus. I mastered my grind. That's when the doors opened. That's when the blessings came. That's when the fire started to spread. Let me break it down. You can't lead others until you lead yourself. You can't demand excellence from the world and give yourself excuses. You can't talk about legacy and keep living in low energy. You want a new life. Build a new you. Piece by piece, choice by choice, decision by decision. You got to wake up and say, I'm not letting the old me sabotage a future me anymore. I'm talking about self-mastery. I'm talking about being your own accountability partner. Nobody needs to check you because you check yourself. You catch your own slack. You shut down your own laziness. That's power. And the reward, freedom, clarity, confidence. When you master yourself, you stop chasing. You start attracting. You start walking different, thinking different, moving different, and life starts aligning with that level of energy. So stop looking outside for what only discipline can give you inside. You want to master your life, then master your mind, master your time, master your habits, master your voice. Because once you do that, ain't nothing you can't conquer.